So this last year has been the hardest year of my entire life, and I don't say that lightly, even though I'm smiling. Um, our boys went through so many health things, all centered around the root that was and still is a protein allergy. So that has manifested as things like horrible eczema, when they were babies, reflux. There's just been a lot of different things that you can isolate and look at on its own and think that it's not that big of a deal, or it's, spoken over as normal or common. And we, through the entire journey, have been looking for the root cause and figured out that it's a protein allergy. It's been a lot. So anyways, that's not the point of this, but I have had a lot of emotions and a lot of weight that I've carried, just a lot of anger and frustration and pain and shame of just honestly just blaming myself. I did not think I was going to cry on this. Just carrying stuff that isn't mine to carry. And I say all of that because just to tell you about something that I was on, a prayer. It was like it's called a freedom prayer meeting a couple weeks ago. And you volunteered to be on this. And I have desperately wanted healing and breakthrough for my boys, for our family, for myself, because whatever I'm carrying, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you're carrying, you are bringing it into your family and into your home. And I want to bring life, and I want to bring light and joy and peace. And I have not been bringing that for a lot of the time because I've been so stressed, and overwhelmed by my own life. And I have just desperately wanted healing. I know that babies come with a lot of change and a lot of things like that. And I would be happy to only have that on my plate. That is not what's bringing the stress. It's the combination of like them having a hard time sleeping, being in pain, discomfort, eczema all over their body. There's been so many things, lots of things that I could share, but that's not the point of this. And so, anyway, so I have been desperate, and I shared a little bit about that online. One of the pictures I shared, I had some writing on it. And so someone who I respect and care, just her input, she messaged me and told me about this, and I'm so thankful. It's called Freedom Prayer Meeting. And so you sign up for it with different churches, have different times and things like that, but overall it's the same ministry done at different churches, if I can explain that, or spit that out. So I volunteered for this, signed up for it, went on it, and it was so sweet. These two women were basically facilitating the call so that I would be asking things to Jesus and then asking God. And which I appreciate that they are even that detailed. They're seeing that most people are afraid to talk to God. They are bringing their understanding and their relationship with their earthly father into how they view their heavenly father. So anyway, so I started praying to Jesus and would sit there and ask him. So after I'd ask him questions, I'd sit and listen. And then I would share what I saw or heard. And then they weren't telling me what they thought. They weren't, being the key to this. They were really just facilitating a discussion or conversation and connection with the Lord. And at first I was like, oh, where is this going to go? Like, how am I going to feel after this? I didn't know. I just really, truly didn't know the impact, because it seems like something so basic that I can do this by myself. I can ask God, but how often do I really sit and listen every time I'm praying? Most of the time I'm praying quickly. It is at a chaotic moment because I'm just so in need of patience or whatever it might be. And I've had so many desperate prayers or cries just because of what we've been through. So I went through this call and this conversation and got a lot out of it because I could really hear what he was telling me and talking to me about, and brought so many things. How often, if you have a relationship with him, how often do you have a vision of how you think it's going to be, and he changes it. And so even in this call, in this meeting, I had some ideas of what I thought he might say. And some of them were true because I had already heard him before and had already asked, and he made his way of letting me know and getting that to me, that message in response to me, even if I didn't make all the time to just sit in quiet. How often is that even possible in my life? I don't have a lot of that, but so he still finds a way to speak to us. Anyways, but there were so many things in this call, in this conversation, that I did not expect coming up. I'm having to relearn how to be a daughter because it's so different. If you have had a journey with your relationship with him prior to being a parent, then you have this other element of, but these are my kids, like, you can do all of this, so why aren't you? I've asked those questions, and he's still God, and he is the best. He is the most hope you can ever get. So even if you're mad at him, he is literally the best option. There is nothing that compares to trusting in God or the desire to trust. Because I honestly have not fully trusted. Is that even possible to fully trust? I don't even know. But with my boy's health, I have so much faith that he can do what he says he can do. So I am that person that is like, well, why aren't you? Why are you choosing not to? So in this meeting, I was asking him, where he was, and he showed me where he was. And of course, I was crying the whole time. And he just touches you in a way that those words said by anyone else couldn't do the same, couldn't have the same impact. And so anyways, the whole point in this, I was going to talk about. So I was using a few different oils through this whole journey. I've been using Release to help myself cry. When you have space to unpack things, a lot of times I don't even know where to start because I've been either shoving down emotions just to get through the day, managing stress just to cope, but you still have to process those things. You still need space to release them. And so a lot of times I will grab that at night when I do have space, and I'll cry. It's a very powerful oil. And then during this call, I was using a few because I was really I was just kind of overwhelmed. I was crying before the call even started because I was finally making space. I wanted to prepare my mind and heart before I was going to ask him questions, and before I didn't know what this call even was. So I was using different oils like Sarah, and Sarah is actually for if you've dealt with abuse. It stands for something that I can't remember. And Surrender, because I am really good at controlling and trying to control, but it is just an illusion. Control is an illusion of power when it's really fear. So Surrender, and what's the other one I was using? I think I was using Release, and it was Sarah, Release, and Surrender. So anyways, I was using those throughout the call. They're so grounding to me and so calming to me and so helpful. If you're really overwhelmed while you're processing something, this is one reason I think these would be incredible if you're going through counseling. 100% every single person that's going through counseling should have some amount of oils to help their body while they're working through emotions. They have been such a gift to me. And if you ever asked me from the beginning what I thought was the least impactful or the least real, I would have said, I don't think oils for emotions are going to work. until I started using them for emotions. And then my life changed. Not that dramatic, but they've been a tool, especially in this season, especially as momming goes on in my life. I grab oils for emotions probably more than any other time or any other topic throughout the day, because you have emotions all the time. We're humans. We have emotions all the time, whether I'm overwhelmed, stressed, overstimulated, anxious. I have oils for all of that, and I'm still praying and I'm still working through it. So anyways, if you want any information about this call that I went through, I would be happy to give it to you. But also, I would really encourage you, if you're going through anything, that was not a one and done type thing. I'm still working through stuff. I still have triggers. I feel lighter though. I feel a lot more space for joy. If we're so bogged down by negative, heavy emotions, we don't have space for the fulfilling, life-giving things that he intends for us. And so I knew that I needed healing, different layers. It wasn't going to be one thing, but I also really heard that he was going to expedite some of the healing. And I believe that happened at this call. I did not think that was going to be as impactful, to be honest. But after I had gotten a lot that I didn't know I needed just by listening. So anyways, this is already a very long video. So if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, I would be happy to talk to you.